Hey guys, so I finally came up with with another clean Army story. And I'll tell you, one of the things they never tell you when you join the military and when you get promoted to a leadership position is they never tell you that you're going to get this nagging feeling in the back of your mind, and you're going to wonder, will I be able to do it? When the moment comes, will I be able to lead troops into combat? So this story is about that moment for me. Back in 2004, I was in Sinai, Egypt, on an MFO rotation, MFO, Multinational Force and Observer mission. Basically peacekeepers that sat on the border between Egypt and Israel. And we made sure Egypt and Israel were abiding by the peace treaty of 1977, not building their forces up on the border. And it was a fairly easy mission. We would spend 21 days at this main base, and then we'd spend 21 days out at a remote site, this combat outpost. And there were these combat outposts. They dotted the whole border all the way up from the Mediterranean Sea all the way up to, all the way down, I should say, to the Red Sea. And these combat outposts were pretty Spartan, but it was still comfortable. There were showers. Some of the buildings were air conditioned. But there was still barbed wire and bunkers. It was still a military base. At the time I was in E6, as a staff sergeant, I was in charge of a squad. My squad was about 14 soldiers because they plussed up the squads when you're out on site. One of my team leaders was this guy named Sergeant Martinez, who he was older than me. He had been a Marine, and he had been in the first Gulf War, Desert Storm, as a Marine, where he actually went over the berm and fought Iraqis with the Marines. A lot of guys in my squad, my platoon, my company really respected Sergeant Martinez, because even though it was 2004 and we had been at war in Iraq and Afghanistan, the number of veterans, the number of people who had actually been in combat really hadn't filtered its way through the whole military yet. So Sergeant Martinez, he was a good man. He was a good leader. And even though he was older than me, I outranked him, he was still cool about it. He didn't try to take things over, even though I outranked him, although he had more experience and he had combat experience. So I valued his judgment, and everybody in my squad looked up to him. Well, one day I was in the Tactical Operations Center. I think I had just finished a radio check, and I was the site commander. And a message came over the radio. It said, "Get to the bunkers. 3 Alpha's been hit." 3 Alpha was a site a little bit to the north of us. Yeah, and you get that radio message, you're like, wait a minute, someone messing around on the radio, 3 Alpha's been hit. We're in Egypt, we're not in Iraq. Get on the radio. Can you confirm, 3 Alpha's been hit, get to your bunkers. Real world. There's a button on the side of the door of our TOC, and I hit the button, and the buzzer starts going off, and people start moseying on over to the TOC, like, Sergeant, did you hit the buzzer? Or we, get to the bunkers, get to the bunkers. I start handing out the weapons from our TOC. And guys are they're tumbling out of bed. They're showing up in underwear and body armor and flip-flops. They grab their rifle. They go to their bunker. I put one guy on the radio in the TOC, and I head toward my bunker, which is Bunker 1. This is the bunker that overlooks the roadway, the most likely avenue of approach. And my machine gun team gets in the bunker. They set up their machine gun, and we wait. 3 Alpha's been hit. I think of all the guys in my unit, in my company, who are at 3 Alpha. Are they okay? Are they dying right now? Are they in a firefight? What just happened? We don't get any further information over the radio. And every time we try to call up to get more information, we're told to clear the net. We stayed in our bunkers for 12 hours. Night came. I rotated guys out to sleep, brought everyone down to 1/3 security. Morning comes. My platoon sergeant rolls into our site in a F-150 truck, no body armor, no helmet, no weapon, just rolls up to the site, leans on the horn at the gate. I come out with my body armor, my rifle, my helmet, come out to the gate to let him in. He looks at me, he goes like, I think he's smoking a cigarette, Hey, Beth, why are you dressed up like that? I'm like, what? They told us to get to the bunkers. They told us that the 3 Alpha's been hit. He's like, oh yeah, they ended that hours ago. We spent the night, in our body armor, in bunkers, ready for war, and the alert was called off hours ago. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks for telling me. I think he, we let him in, and he did whatever platoon sergeants like him do. And he left. We all collapsed back to the talk. We put the weapons away, put the body armor away. We got confirmation, like, hey, are we supposed to secure? And battalion's like, oh yeah, Roger, you can secure from your bunkers. Like, thanks a lot, So we're putting everything back, and we finally find out that 3 Alpha was not hit. The Taba Hilton was blown up by a truck bomb. It was just close to 3 Charlie. To 3 Alpha. Whatever, man. Right? It is what it is. So we get back to normal. I'm sitting in the talk, and I was talking with Sergeant Martinez. And we're doing a little AAR. We're doing a little after-action review. Like, what went right, what went wrong. He's like, yeah, you did everything right. And I'm listening to him say, yeah, we did this right. We did this right. You did a good job on this. We could improve on our time of getting to the bunkers. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you on that. And then I heard it. Pop. I had never heard an RPG fired before, rocket-propelled grenade. But Sergeant Martinez, who had been in the first Gulf War, sure as heck had. And he froze and he looked at me and he shouted, RPG. Here I am thinking, well, he probably knows what he's talking about. I better listen. I shout, incoming. Both of us hit the floor in the talk. I happen to land right near the door. I'm looking out the window, and this specialist I have took one last drag on his cigarette, put the cigarette down on a picnic table, and then got down to the ground. Like, priorities, right? And then nothing happens. At this point, I don't know if I am deaf from the explosion. I don't know if the round was a dud. I don't know if they missed. Sergeant Martinez jumps up and runs out of the talk, straight over top of me, using me as a doormat. Boot right in my back. Yelling, get out of the talk. Ran out, didn't grab a weapon, didn't grab body armor, nothing. Just get out of the talk. And that is very sensible advice, because if the bad guys did miss, where are they aiming for? They're aiming for the shipping container that has the antennas sticking out of it, because once they take out those antennas, they can just kill you at their leisure. And I realize I'm going to die probably the next 10 seconds. But if I'm going to die, it's going to be surrounded by shell casings and links. I reach up to the wall and I grab our machine gun and I put it on the floor of the talk, and I grab an ammo belt out of the box. But my hands are shaking so much, I can't get the feed tray cover of the machine gun open. And I realize for every second that I spend in here trying to load this machine gun, it's another second that just my life is ticking away. The dump of adrenaline I got when I realized that I was going to die in the next 10 seconds. It's almost like being in a car accident, that dump of adrenaline you get after a car accident. And I had opened feed tray covers on machine guns thousands, literally thousands of times during my career. But my hands were shaking so much I couldn't get it open. And I realized I need to get out of here. I grabbed the machine gun, grabbed the belt of ammo, and I ran out of the talk screaming like Rambo. Running right out of the talk, ready to go to war. I was going to kill somebody. And I run right into Sergeant Martinez. And he goes, "Stop! It was a tire!" We have these speed bumps outside of the road that goes past our cop. And the Egyptians would drive so fast over those speed bumps that it would loosen the cladding, on these plastic bolted in speed bumps. Sometimes the cladding would crack and the speed bump would break apart, just exposing the spike. And I guess this one car hit the speed bump the wrong way, hit the spike, pop. But they kept going. So that was a little embarrassing. And I realized I'm standing there with my machine gun, my belt of ammo, and everyone's kind of looking at me like, what the heck just happened? It was just a car that popped a tire. All right. I think we had a couple days left on site. I get back to South Camp. Oh my God, you would have thought the rest of the company, that's all they say. "Hey Rambo, what's up? Hey Ryan Bo. Heard you almost opened up with the pig on." The funny thing about the Army is if people like you, they'll make fun of you, but if they don't like you, they'll make fun of you more. After that, I didn't exactly know where I stood in the equation there. But here's what was interesting. Sergeant Martinez, he heard that other people were, joking about me. And it bothered me a little bit. I did what I thought was right at the time. One night, I think I was outside having a cigar. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, Sergeant Beth, guys have been saying stuff about you. Rambo coming out of the talk with a machine gun and belt ammo. But when it happened, when I said RPG and ran out of the talk, I didn't even grab a rifle. And you had the presence of mind to grab the machine gun, the most casualty-producing weapon. So the next time, when you're in combat, you're going to know what to do." That meant a lot. It meant that I had taken the practice test and I passed. So if the real test ever came, I'd be ready. I was always grateful for that little moment. You always wonder if you're going to be able to lead men into combat and do the right thing when that moment happens. And after that, I knew I was ready. Thank you for watching.